Hello, my name is Howie Haven. I'm 6 feet tall. I live here in Los Angeles, California, and welcome to Breaking the First Wall. So we've heard about my journey. We understand how I got here if you watched the first video. And this episode is about the first 3 things you should do as an actor. So remember, I started my acting journey because my roommate walked into my room while he had his acting class on his laptop. So that's the kind of luck that I used, but I'm doing this video so that you don't have to have that same kind of luck. There are so many people that have reached out, messaged me. I appreciate all the love, of course, and they have asked me, how to break into acting. And I think that's a very funny question to ask me, who we all know is a beginner, right? So the very first thing you should do if you want to be an actor is join an acting class. That's number 1. A lot of people like to ask what kind of acting class they should join. In my opinion, the only kind of acting class that you should join is a conservatory, right? Now think about it. If you were a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, pretty much any other profession, you would go to school first. That is some of the best advice that my dad gave me, is to always get advice from the expert. And remember this roommate that I keep talking about that walked into my room and introduced me to this acting class? One of the best things that he told me, this is almost about a year into acting class, and I had already booked a couple commercials, and he tells me that he wishes that he was in the position that I was in. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, what, bro? You're experienced. And he says, yeah, but for the first 7 to 8 years that he was in Hollywood, in the first 7 to 8 years that he was in Hollywood, he wasn't in an acting class and he was trying to make things happen himself. So when I hear that people have been in class for 10, 15 years, and people are wondering like, why do you need class that long? You're always studying. You always need to have that student mentality. I hear the greats, the people, the Robert De Niro's, the Julia Roberts, that these people are in acting class for 10, 15, 20 years. I heard Julia Roberts in an interview say that she still doesn't know what she's doing. She says that she goes into every role as if she's a brand new actor. This is not a hobby. This is not, let me do this job and do acting on the side. Like, this is not that. If you want a career in acting, you have to fully immerse yourself in the art. There's actually someone in my class right now who has been in the class since he was 18. He's 44 now. So you never ever stop learning. Think about the best athletes, right? We look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had a trainer. You look at Serena Williams, Muhammad Ali, all the great athletes, they all had trainers. And they all had trainers throughout their entire careers, right? Well, why would you need one if you're so great? Why does Robert De Niro feel like he needs to stay in class, for so many years? Why does Jack Nicklaus feel like he needs to stay in class so many years? You know what I mean? And if they're doing it, of course, right? Like a beginner has to do it, And again, this is about the work, and that's the most important thing. So I would join a conservatory. You can join a class on Zoom. I don't really recommend a class on Zoom because you don't really get the full feeling of being in the class. Now, I started my acting career on Zoom. So for 2 years, I wasn't in the theater, right? And I've been in class now almost 4 years. So for the last year and a half, I've been in the theater. And while I'm very happy for, the introduction to acting, I realized how much I was missing by not being in the theater, and I felt like starting all over again. And I'm saying all over as I was only doing it for 2 years before I was introduced to the theater. So still very brand new at this. I want to make sure you guys understand, I'm gonna say it over and over and over again, it's about the work. Now, the best thing about joining a conservatory is, because it doesn't end, you get a community. You get a community of people that you can always lean on. And the conservatory that I'm in, we do a lot more than just learn how to act, because we do understand that this is show business. The other great thing about joining an acting class is all of the information that you can get from being in the class. So many veterans that are in the class that have been doing this for a long time, and you can get information from them. They can tell you exactly what to do. They can tell you how to get headshots. They can tell you how to get an agent, how to get a manager, how to set up your profiles on casting networks and Actors Access, which is where the casting directors will be looking for actors to give you jobs, right? They can tell you all that stuff, and I think that's why it's super important to... And can we get a moment for the Eldridge knot? Oh my goodness, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Whew. Okay, we're back. It is super important for you as an actor to be around other actors. All right, and number 2, time to get some headshots. Okay, so there is an idea that we all have of ourselves in our head, but the thing about the acting world is it's about how people see you. We gotta understand what we're looked at as, because that's most likely what we're going to be cast as. So if you want to know what you're giving, that's what you have a teacher for. And that's exactly why you're in an acting class, so that you can always ask questions. That is where you can ask all of your questions. Of course, you can Google and everything like that, but you'd rather get the advice from the experts, and that's what you're paying them for. And one thing people always ask me, do I need to move to LA in order to be an actor? Yeah, you do. So can you act other places? Of course you can. You can be in New York and you can act there. You can be in Chicago. You can be in Atlanta, of course. But you at least need access to Los Angeles, because this is where most of the stuff is being made. So now, in this age that we're in, I actually had a friend who was working for an airline, and I was able to be his travel buddy so I could fly for free. So I could actually say that I was a local hire pretty much anywhere in America, because I know that I would be able to just call him and be like, hey, can I get a flight to San Francisco or wherever I needed to go? And he would be able to help me. If you don't have those privileges, yes, you need to come to Los Angeles. This is a huge commitment. This is a big commitment. This is your life, okay? This is not like a hobby. This is not something that you can just do on the side. So yes, I do think that it serves you best to be in Los Angeles if you wanna pursue this. Okay, so that brings me to number 3. Now that you are in an acting class and now that you have headshots, the third thing you need to do is sign up for the online acting profiles. That means Actors Access and Casting Networks. There are a couple others, but we are going to start with those 2 because they are the most important. So you go onto these sites and you sign up, you upload your headshots, you upload a slate, this is a slate. The way that I start this podcast, when I say, hello, my name is Howie Haven, I'm 6 feet tall, I live here in Los Angeles, California, welcome to Breaking the First Wall, that is a slate. A slate is a 7-second video telling them a little bit about yourself. 7 seconds, so that when the casting director clicks on your headshot, they can hear your voice, they can kind of get a little bit of a vibe of you before they watch your audition. And we're actually gonna go through a tutorial on how to sign up for these websites in another video. But once you are all set up on those sites, it is super important to submit. So that was one of the things that I did all day. And in the non-union world, it's really great because there's a lot of jobs that are coming in. And whether it would be student films, short films, feature films, TV shows, and commercials. I'm definitely going to do an entire video on commercials. I mean, I booked 41 of them, so. Okay, and so to recap, the 3 things that you need to do to start your acting career is 1, join a acting class. I prefer conservatory because conservatory is community and you need your community. You need to be around other actors. Number 2, get those headshots. Oh, and you know what? I'm gonna give you a nice little tip on how to get free headshots. When you've signed up for Actors Access and Casting Networks, if you go to their search bar to where you search for jobs and you type in headshots, you will find people that are looking to build their portfolio. These are usually college students that are just graduating and they need to build their portfolio. Or just beginner photographers that company to build their portfolio. So usually they'll exchange a couple headshots for you so that you can just join their portfolio and that they can, you know, advertise themselves as headshot photographers and get more gigs. So I think that's a great way. That's a way that I have used before, and I have gotten free headshots, and those headshots have gotten me jobs that paid me money. So, you know, the return on investment on that is pretty damn good. Otherwise, your headshots will cost, like I've seen on the low end, around $300, and I've seen all the way up to $1,000 for headshots. But again, we are just starting our acting career. So when you're at the beginning, it is best to utilize the tools you can if you need them for free. Money doesn't just grow on trees around here, so I know it's very hard to pay something like $300 for pictures, right? So I think the way that I just gave you is a good way to do it. And of course, number 3, make sure we are on these online websites. Again, especially in this digital age that we're in, this is where you're going to get 90% of your auditions. Actors Access and Casting Networks. Now, you can get commercial auditions and TV auditions on both, but Casting Networks is mostly for commercials and Actors Access is mostly for theatrical, TV and film. Okay, and that is the show for today. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is your boy, Howie Haven. Make sure you like this video, share this video. If you know somebody that is thinking about being an actor, someone that just started their acting career, this is the podcast for them. Please send them this link. They will thank you for it later for sure. And the next video, I'm going to talk about what to do when you get your first audition. So